my name's Becky, Recreation Director for the City of Seminole and the Tampa Bay area. We want to welcome you to our esports webinar. Since there are so many layers to esports, we're going to hit a couple one that's been successful for us. First, we're going to get an overview of our program and a tour of the Esports Lounge. Then we're going to talk to you a little bit about console gaming, what's been successful in our programming with that, and then we're going to dive into PC gaming. And then we're going to wrap it all up with lessons learned and where we go from here. Let's go take a look. Before we get too far into this webinar, let's give you a quick overview of our Esports Lounge. We'll start right here at our big screen. This is where we project gaming, finals of tournaments, and various different activities we have here in the Esports Lounge. You'll then see our PC Gaming Center. We have 5 PCs for that team play atmosphere. We'll get more into that later. And then on the far side of the room, we have set up our console play. You can see we have various different consoles with various different games and activities. And in the forefront, we also do have a little virtual reality that anyone enjoying the Esports Lounge can jump into. So let's give a little bit of history of how we got started into esports. So in the fall of 2018, the term esports first started coming on our radar, and we were wondering, what is this about? So the staff here at the Rec Center started researching and figuring out how we could dip our toes into this new world to us. So we first started here at the Rec Center with watch parties and in-house tournaments. We, at the time, currently had some equipment on site, but not compared to what we have now. So moving forward into January, early 2019, we started doing more and more in-house tournaments and watch parties. That is when we really decided we need to invest in some equipment for this room. We made proposals to City Council, got approval, and came up with the space that we have now. The one thing that worked in our favor is we had this teen room that was underutilized. So after much research, tracking numbers, we had the backup to sell our city manager as well as council that this underutilized space as a teen room would be the perfect e-lounge. And that's how we landed where we are today. Let me introduce you to some of our esports staff. This is Alex and Ryan, and they're going to take it over from here. Hi, I'm here with Ryan. We're going to talk about the operation here of the Esports Lounge. Our Esports Lounge, when it is open, we have open hours, is supervised at all times. So Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about what that looks like?
Sounds good. How's it going, everybody? Whenever the Esports Lounge is open, I'm here. And so we have open play hours several times during the week where kids from the community, after school, whatever's going on, can just come in. They can game. I'm always here if they need to check out equipment. That's available to do so. And so we have those open play hours every week. In addition to those, we host tournaments, both online and in person here at the Rec Center. This is kind of like what the average daily setup would look like here at the Esports Lounge. Like kids are coming in, they're playing. They've got PlayStation, Xbox to choose from, tons of different games on all of those. And it's a blast here. And the kids get to come, be a part of a community, and game together. When we have open play hours here at the Esports Lounge, I'm always here to help troubleshoot, make sure things are going well. Kids need passwords to get into certain accounts or games. I'm here to get them logged in to make sure that they can play online with different people, with their friends, and all of that. I'm here to just make sure that they're able to play the games that they want and to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Alrighty, so now we're going to kind of go over some of the aspects of the console play that we have here. There's 3 main consoles out and about now. So we've got an Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. We have 2 of each of these units in our Esports Lounge. That gives opportunity for kids, if they have a preference towards one, they want to kind of bounce around from one to the next. We kind of give that opportunity for them out here. So each of these models, units kind of average about $300. Base, and then all the bells and whistles of games for the most part are additional on that. So let's go through each of these, kind of go through the pros and cons. So where do we start?
Sweet. Let's start with the Nintendo Switch. Probably the most unique out of these 3 in terms of Nintendo, who's the maker of the Nintendo Switch, really likes to target family and kind of like the younger age groups. So big games like Super Mario Brothers or Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. All of those games are going to be exclusive to the Nintendo consoles, and the current Nintendo console is the Nintendo Switch. Some of the pros of the Nintendo Switch, it's highly portable. I mean, you can see it here. This is just its charging dock. You can pick it up. This is the console itself. These controllers even detach if you wanted to like hold them and form a controller yourself. Very portable. So in the past, when we've hosted tournaments here at the Esports Lounge, we've had kids bring in their own Switches, and we've offered incentives for them to do so, like free entry into future tournaments if they do. And so what that allows is, we here at the lounge have 2 Switches of our own, but if we have 6 more kids who bring their own to receive like free entry to the next tournament, that's 8 total consoles that we can have running games simultaneously, and it allows the tournaments to be a lot larger. So the portability of the Switch is awesome. I'm going to toss it over to Alex for talking about the Xbox and the PlayStation.
So Xbox and PlayStation 4 are both fairly similar. Completely, well, a bit different from the Nintendo Switch, like Ryan said. Fairly similar, though, for the Xbox and PlayStation 4. Some major differences for these ones, though, are the controller styles and size and type. So, like, we've got this, entirely a bit different, a little bit similar, but you can see they vary and are unique in their own ways. Each of these consoles each have some of their own game titles that are unique to them. So you won't find a version of, say, Halo on PlayStation 4, and vice versa for the time being. You won't find a copy of MLB The Show on Xbox. So those are some of the variances there between those 2 consoles. Additionally, for online play to let's say the kids are playing online here, or playing from the comfort of their own home, whatever it might be, play with friends, whoever it might be, there is additional costs included when having that online component. So I think on average it's about $50 to $60 a year, gives us access for the online play with those consoles. Did we miss anything on those?
I don't think so. I think we hit all 3 of those. Each of them offers something unique. Each of them gets a different gamer in the door. And so having 2 copies of each of these really helps you hit kind of every demographic and participant that would be coming in.
And like you said before, like the beauty of the Switch here is how portable it is. You can almost fit it in your backpack, your back pocket.
Yeah.
So for the tournament, we were able to do that. And even a lot of people have this equipment at home, or a lot of kids might have this equipment at home. So if we were to host, let's say, another tournament down the line, although we gave incentives for Nintendo Switch, like I have no problem bringing my own personal equipment, say it's my Xbox or whatever it might be, into tournament style, or for additional units. So.
Yeah.
That's what we got here in regards to consoles. Let's see what else we got going on.
Hey gang, here to walk you through the PC setup that we have here at the Seminole Rec Center Esports Lounge. I'm going to walk you guys through the equipment, what we have here in the lounge that allows gamers from any level, whether they're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, to play the games they want in a way that the equipment doesn't hold them back, but allows them and facilitates better gameplay, both in person and online. So I'm going to talk about some of the games we have, the opportunities kids have to use this equipment. But first, let's talk about what we have here at the lounge. Here in the lounge, we have 5 gaming PCs. They're HP Obelisk PCs. In order to complement the PCs themselves, each setup has a monitor. It's an Asus monitor. Very nice monitor, optimized for gameplay. It's not going to, the frames per second, nothing is going to be held back. It's able to play all of the AAA games, any games that someone would want to be playing online, or even solo games like Destiny or something like that. It's able to match the graphics for games that are coming out now. In addition to the desktop, the monitor itself, we have Logitech G503 gaming mice, very sensitive. They're able to be wired, and when they run out of power, you wire them into charge, as well as wireless capability. In addition, we have Corsair mechanical keyboards, high-end gaming keyboards that just allow several different pros or streamers use this type of keyboard as well. It's just a draw to get kids in to be able to play with equipment that might be better than what they have at home. And so that's the basic setup. And in addition to that, the last thing are Logitech headphones with microphone capabilities. So kids, whether they're playing here together or if they're wanting to listen to some of their teammates that they're playing with online, they're able to both hear them and communicate to them with the headphones. And so what this whole setup does, everything from the mice to the keyboard to the headphones to the computers themselves, it allows kids to play and perform to the best of their ability, and so the equipment's not going to hold them back, and it facilitates better gameplay. And so the types of games that you can play on these computers and the types of games that we have on the computers range from single player games like Destiny or Overwatch or something like that, games that you can play by yourself, to games that require teams of 5, so things like League of Legends or Dawn of the Ancients, and even Overwatch has that capability to play with a full team. And the number of setups we have here at the Esports Lounge is 5. So we have 5 gaming PC setups, and all of them have the same specs as I've listed here up before. And on each of those, and it's important that that number 5 is kind of the upper limit in terms of the number of computers that you would need in a recreational setting like this. Most online games that I've listed before, some of the most popular in the world, League of Legends, for instance, has been one of the preeminent games in the community for a long time. That's a game that has teams of 5 battling against each other. So it's a 5v5 game. Here at the lounge, since we have 5 computers, we can have 5 gamers themselves playing here, talking with the headsets, communicating in person, and they're able to all do that in a single room. You don't need 5 computers. 5 is kind of the goal that we worked up to. You can have just one. If you even have just one, there's plenty of single player games that kids can draw in. If you have 3, there's even a larger number of games that gamers can be playing in person. Things like Apex Legends has teams of 3. Apex Legends is a battle royale similar to Fortnite. No matter how many of the setups you have, 5 is a pretty good number to aim for. And that's what we have here at the lounge, and there's really no need for us to go any higher. Each setup itself, the computer, the monitor, the headphones, the mice, the keyboards, all of that, in total, it's about $2,500 per setup. So $2,500 will cover the computer, monitor, headphones, keyboard, mouse. You got the whole setup, and that's all you need. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. That's this PC setup we have here at the Esports Lounge.
All right, so now I think we're going to cover some of our lessons learned through our experiences here in this journey of esports. So what's at the top of our list?
I would say that the top of our list is making sure that your IT department is on board. Some of the reasons we discussed why it's important to have your IT on board is, for instance, if a graphic card goes out on the computer, or you're having internet connectivity issues or whatnot, you really got to call in that IT department. It does help, we found, that if your IT employees or co-workers are gamers.
Yeah, so when we first brought this to the table, they were real excited to get involved with that as well.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It was able to get them on board even faster, excited about what we're doing, and really help us push this venture forward. So number 1 for us, I think, is get your IT department on board.
Yeah, and I think to kind of branch off of that too, we kind of looked at, as ideally having Wi-Fi and all this wireless equipment is nice and kind of state of the art. When it came down to it, we're doing updates, we're downloading, the newest programs and games. And so in the long run, it ended up being more beneficial to hardwire not only the PCs for everything to run smoother, but the consoles as well.
Yeah, definitely a hardwiring, if we had to go back and choose, would be the route we would go.
Yeah, just right off the bat, because we kind of ran into some speed bumps there.
And I think also too, jumping in there, you don't have to have all the bells and whistles and the amazing equipment to get started. I think if you have something already within your department, you could go ahead and start doing some sort of esports, as we learned that there's many different layers to what you could do and how you could get started. So,
and although it's this grand thing, like you said, so many different layers, we were able to just start at with just some small in-house tournaments, watch parties, and able to expand and continue expanding and growing here.
Yeah. I would say also, for kind of probably the administrative side of it, is learn or kind of get your speech down on how you're going to explain what esports is. Depending on your director's involvement, are they aware of esports? I'm sure at this point they are, or even the city manager and your city council, depending on the makeup. So here in Seminole, the makeup of our city council member is fairly older, I'd say 55 and up on average. And so there was definitely a point where I had to go in front of council and explain exactly what esports is and what we wanted it to look like here in Seminole. So be prepared with that. At a dime, you know, whenever you're asked to be able to explain what it is and how it can impact your community, and how that's how the youth, or mostly everybody now, is recreating. We're recreating in different ways, and I think it's important to stay up with trends and be in front of your community. And so for us, we knew it was important because, you know, we have kids on site that we were struggling a little bit to get up here into our teen room when it was a teen room, and we really just tapped into them and asked what they wanted. Which I think brings us to
our next
one.
We kind of, although we have a relationship and partnership with the local college, at one point we went and visited some of the students there, you know, kind of picked their brains. What did they have in mind, or, you know, what was their idea of kind of an esports lounge or a program might be going on here? We've put out, you know, a number of surveys and whatnot to our members and participants, like, what would you like to see, you know, just recently tournament-wise? What kind of games would you like to see come across? Those kinds of things.
Yeah, and I think continuing to stay involved and in contact with those people, making sure they're aware of what you're doing. One of our lessons learned, and I think, you know, a few of us across Florida and the country are probably facing this, is recreation departments are typically not known to have esport teams or esport lounges. So, you know, we're typically looked at in our areas, you know, to provide amazing programs, great summer camps and camps, athletics, aquatics, some fitness, but really not known, or was not known in our community for gaming and esports. So I think that's another thing too, is get out there with your community, talk to your connections, tap into those resources you have to let people know that you're here and you're doing it now. And I think lastly, our most exciting lesson learned came from when we hosted one of our very first tournaments, or early on tournaments here in the Esports Lounge. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
So it was one of our very first tournaments. We weren't totally sure what to expect coming out of it,
Yeah.
but we had a great turnout of participants. You know, parents came out and kind of joined it as well. So I think our youngest participant was probably 7 or 8. We had a heavy age range of maybe like 14 to 19. And then we even had some parents who were participating as well. And it was all inclusive, not only age-wise, but ability-wise too. So there was no physical requirement, anything like that. So everyone was able to come together, have a good time, participate, you know, friendly competition, and it was really exciting to see and be part of.
Yeah, and I think that's something you definitely want to reiterate, even just based off our experience, and reiterate that this is one of those activities that goes, I mean, it doesn't matter age, ability, it's all inclusive. And communities love that. We love that, and participants love that. So I think we hit most of everything that so far.
We're still learning.
Yeah, we're still learning a lot. So if you have any questions for us, please feel free to put them in the comments below. We might, if there's tons, make a second video just answering those questions. We're not sure where we'll go from here, but thanks for joining us in on this final lessons learned section.
Yep. All right, so hopefully we were able to provide a little bit of insight into what we're doing esports-wise here. Otherwise, let's get back to the games.
Let's do it.
We hope you enjoyed that webinar. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'll list our contact information at the end of this video, as well as all the specs on all the equipment here in our Esports Lounge. Hope to see you soon.